pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call,
Dan Pillow,
Here.
Jennifer Wiehe, Kathy Byess,
Here.
Ann Pillow,
Here.
Al Glick,
Here.
Pam Jackson.
Here. Okay. Whenever you're ready, Margaret, we'll start
All
the
right.
clerk's report.
You received the minutes of the February 3rd meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February the 3rd.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, seconded by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
You received the minutes from the February 10th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February the 10th.
I'll second.
Motion by Pam Jackson, seconded by Jennifer Wiehe. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
You have pay ordinance 2025 3A. This is for biweekly payroll that was dispersed on the 7th of February. Dispersed from the general fund, $5,207.80. From the sewer fund, $1,466.78, for a combined total of $6,674.58.
What was your total? Because that's not the total that I have.
What do you have?
I have $7,348.
Is that on 3A?
This is on 3A, 2A.
Yeah, the ones you just read off is 3A.
3A.
I'm sorry, what? The one that I just read off was what?
3A.
3A, this line said
Yeah.
2A. Okay, I must have picked the wrong, not them both off at the same time. but I don't have that one, so.
Okay, we'll make sure you get a copy of it. So the amount that I just read, $6,674.58, should be the correct one.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve 3A.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, seconded by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Next one you have is 2025 3B, again for biweekly payroll that was dispersed on the 21st of February, $3,692.38. Sewer fund, $1,476 even. From the water fund, $1,476 even, for a combined total of $6,644.38.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 3B 2025.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ann Pillow, seconded by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Next you have 2025 3C. This is for accounts payable. And this includes the down payment on the annual village insurance that is $43,882.21. And I had spoken to our rep when I received that bill, and they had some things on there that they corrected, so that dropped it down to the $43,000. So out of the general fund, $26,954.86. from the water fund, $12,064.58, for combined total funds, $39,019.44.
I'll make a motion to approve 3C.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Kathy Byess. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
You received a copy of the Addyston Board of Affairs public meeting of February the 10th, which included their draft minutes, which you will vote on the next meeting. There was some questions about the EPA regulations that was answered. The minutes from the January 13th meeting, their water collection report that was collected in January for the month of December, and their pay ordinance that they put together.
Council, what's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve the
Oh, the
minutes.
Board of Affairs minutes?
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion, we accept the Board of Affairs minutes.
All right.
Mike just did
You
it.
want
Oh,
to
sorry.
you want to second that?
I just thought I had. Second.
All right, motion by Ann Pillow, second by Dan Pillow. Any discussions? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Just a minute.
That's what. Thank you, Tom.
I have an update for council, and this has to do with some of the contracts that you are modifying to reduce service to the village. First of all, Verizon will not allow, Verizon cannot let us switch our village landline to a cell phone because it is owned by City of Cincinnati Bell Alt Fiber. However, last week, both copiers needed service, and when Xerox come out, the one downstairs needs a new motherboard or something, but he also said that we needed to have the internet checked on it. So I had our IT guy come in, and he did a thorough check on both copiers, and it all has to do with the motherboard, not anything to do with the internet. As Mr. Hagan was here, he and I was discussing the phone system. And if you remember last year, council voted to upgrade to the new phone system, and we put it on hold because we didn't know what was gonna happen across the street with Enios. Well, when I showed or let him review bills and that, we're actually paying less for our phones, but they haven't been installed yet because of that, when we put it on hold. So he come in Sunday, Phil did, and I was here with him, and all the phones are upgraded. We just are waiting for the tie-in, which take place tomorrow. The phone system we're going to is called Cisco, and this is what a lot of the governments use, and he said in the last 5 years of customers he's had that they've not had problems with phone calls dropping. So my question is, once we get these phones really fully activated and everything, do we want to do away with cell phones? Because there would be no need to have cell phones for the employees, maybe our street commissioner, but I don't think we need them for the office staff. Mayor and I've talked about it, and I mean, I have a cell phone that people call, she has her, that we call, it would be a savings just to do away with the cell
Or that's
phones.
Cisco 311 or whatever.
I don't know the exact name on it, but they're really, look like they're really a good phone.
So we don't have to have the cell phones with us.
No, we'll do away with cell phones.
So we'll still have a landline then.
We'll still have a landline.
As long as it works.
The cell phones. for
Please?
rentals
I mean, that's been a
Or
problem.
the square.
Well,
I
yeah,
can't
she
hear
needs
you.
to keep, that's this one right here.
This one here is the one that's recording the meetings that I use for that purpose, but
And it's used for those D things too,
Yeah,
for the festivals.
right.
That's the
that one
thing,
we would
as long as they're gonna work, I mean,
Yeah,
the ones
well-
we've got, we ain't working, and like,
no,
the one is no
and the
good.
ones we've got are outdated, and actually, they'll take them back because they was leased phones, but they really don't want them back, they gotta take them back to get them off of our bill.
Mhm.
You know, it's one of those situations, because there are people out there who will buy the current phone that we have, but hopefully within the next day, all of our phones will be working, because I know it's very frustrating when people call and nobody's answering now. It'll leave a voicemail on my internet, and it should leave it on the other phones too, and I return a call after I get that, but I just wanted to bring you up to date on that.
So how many cell phones we got,
We're
we'll
looking
be
at.
able to give back in?
We're looking at getting rid of 4, possibly. More than that, because we'll get rid of the ones that we had for the police.
That we've been paying on, I guess.
Yeah, so, and we don't need them anymore, but there are 6 landline phones in the building. Secretary has the master phone, the water board, I have one, the mayor has one, the code enforcer, and then we have one upstairs in the copier media room.
Yeah,
And
good.
that one can be utilized to be brought down here, wherever there's a data line that can be plugged in.
Yeah, 'cause I read up on that Cisco, and it sounded like a good system, as much as I read up on it.
Yeah.
But as
Well,
long as it works, I mean,
yeah. Can I talk
I
to
think as
Mayor?
long as we don't have the problem we've been having.
Oh,
we'll be
yeah,
sound.
yeah, we gotta
Is
update on
that cheaper
too.
than the one
Yes.
with 6 cell phones?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
And when we're redoing our phone lines, are we getting rid of all the, like Dick Weber's name and?
Yes,
Tin
everything,
Camp and-
all those lines
Yeah.
have been pulled,
Okay,
so, I mean, I actually went to the equipment room and he showed me what lines he was, you
Cutting
know,
out.
doing away with. Do we wanna do this now because of the ordinance? You lead right into this, the contract.
If you want me to just, well, go ahead and lean into it. If you're
Okay,
finished
the
with
other thing that
everything else.
is mayor's court. Since we no longer have an active mayor's court, the village received a letter today, actually it was sent to Aaron, saying that they had terminated our services as an active mayor's court. But in order for us to use the service of the debt collection agency and to collect the money that is due to the village from outstanding fines, we are going to have some type of Baldwin Mayor's Court system for us to be able to, when the payments are made, to apply it to the person who had the citation, because that goes to the federal government, the state, and then to the county. So it's, at first we thought it was gonna be a read-only type of system, but we have what's gonna be, it's called a non-active user access to the program, and it's $954. Now this again is a savings from the $2,370 for the full program that we've had in the past. But in order to make the debt collection work, we have to have the correct software.
Well, and you also wanna keep, the main goal of this non-active user is so she can still receive payments. She can't add
Yeah.
anything new.
No, she won't be able to add
But you also
anything.
should keep it because of records.
Yes.
That's that capital recovery system?
Yeah, and that, the mayor, we'll get
That's
into
why she
that
went into that, so I can go into that.
with the paperwork that, or the ordinance that needs to follow. So those two things will be cost savings. With the copiers, I've reached out to Xerox because they're no longer ComDoc, and they've made a proposal of they will take the copier from the second floor back, make an adjustment on our contract, and we'll still have the one downstairs. However, it was suggested that maybe we should look into Waltz, that they might have a smaller one that we could use. So, with your permission, I'd like to contact Waltz and see if they have maybe a smaller desktop instead of the big full one, because we won't use it for mayor's court dockets anymore. We're down to 2 employees downstairs. When I'm here, the mayor's here. I don't think there's such a need for the big equipment. If we can reduce that cost, that would be a savings to the village too.
I'll make a motion to allow the clerk to at least check into it to see what the cost savings would be.
I'll second. I'll do it. Save no.
Motion by Pam, seconded by Dan Pillow. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Thank you for that. I think that's all I have, Mayor.
All right. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
Okay. And where she'd let off from the mayor's court software in front of you, you should have ordinance authorizing us to go into with capital recovery systems for collections. Have that in front of you, council.
Mayor, before we get into the ordinance, how much does it cost again for us to go into the system?
Do you remember off the top of your head what that costs?
For the, what Aaron's gonna need?
No, the capital.
Capital.
Well,
Capital recovery.
if you guys, you listened to the virtual meeting we had,
Mhm.
what he will do is, whatever is owed the village out of the the person,
Mhm.
they will go after that whole amount, and then they'll tack their fee on top of that, the person will be responsible for.
Right.
So I think it was
That was my
something like,
understanding.
it's something like 31,000 that we're trying to recover.
Mhm.
But they're tacking it on
And they're
top
tacking
of
on another
whoever owes us,
30% that
correct?
they'll keep, right?
I don't-
They're not charging us.
They're not charging
Charging
us,
us.
this
Mhm.
is gonna be a charge to the person they're
The
going
individual.
after the
Okay.
money
Okay.
for.
That's good.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, I believe Dan, you listened, Al said
I
you
listened.
was on the virtual thing, Pam was on there, I was on there, so. And I did speak to him about the water delinquency, and he said that his company does not do that, but he could refer me to somebody if we wanted to go that way. But again, if we can, let them go after the money, the better for us.
I'll make a motion that the rules be suspended, said ordinance be read 3 times by title only and declared an emergency.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, seconded by Pam Jackson. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
All right. If reading number 1, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and the village clerk to enter into a contract with Capital Recovery Systems Incorporated for the collection of delinquent accounts receivable, fines, court costs, judgments, and other debts for the village of Addyston. Reading number 2, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and the village clerk to enter into a contract with Capital Recovery Systems Incorporated for the collection of delinquent accounts receivable, fines, court costs, judgments, and other debts for the village of Addyston. Reading number 3, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and the village clerk to enter into a contract with Capital Recovery Systems Incorporated for the collection of delinquent accounts receivable, fines, court costs, judgments, and other debts for the village of Addyston.
I'll make a motion to approve as read.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Al Glick. Any discussions? No discussions, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe, Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
This will be number 4.
Was this given to him ahead of time as well?
Please.
Was this given to him ahead of time as well? This resolution? Did they receive information on that before this?
I think I sent them out a letter.
Council, did you receive any information for a resolution for the, purchase of electricity for the aggregation program?
Yes.
Now everybody's read through that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a resolution in front of me for authorizing us to enter into the agreement for the electric aggregation program. Council, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion that the rules be suspended, said resolution be read 3 times by title only, and declared an emergency.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Fuller, seconded by Al Glick. Is there any discussions? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe, Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
All right, reading number 1. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement for the purchase of electricity for the village electricity aggregation program. Reading number 2. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement for the purchase of electricity for the village's electricity aggregation program. Reading number 3. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement for the purchase of electricity for the village's electricity aggregation program.
Make a motion as read.
I'll second
Motion by Al Glick, seconded by Pam Jackson. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe,
Yay.
Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
it. Yay.
This will be number 3 on resolutions.
No, right? Well, some of the other things, I don't have anything extra right now. Some things I have with some of the committees, so. What I'm gonna do is move now to the committees. Dan Pillow.
St. Paul, thank you.
I got there quick.
Mayor, I only have one thing that I would like to get with the Finance Committee at some time, or council as a whole. I'm still pushing for a meeting of our whole council to sit and discuss in detail, you know, where we are, how we're moving ahead. I think we're making some progress from the information we've got from the Finance Committee and from Margret. I'd just like to go into a lot more detail, because there's a lot of detail that's involved in us moving forward. That's all I have at this time.
I would like to have a workshop meeting with council, if council's so moved to do that. It's not just finances we need to go through.
You want a motion
Workshop
for that?
meeting.
Mhm.
I know, everybody's giving me that look. I don't care if it's in the evening, earliest in the evening would be great, or a Saturday. Consider it, maybe throw some
I'll
dates
make a
at me.
motion. I'll make a motion to have that meeting, the workshop meeting that you're requesting. And I think we should do it soon.
Very soon.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ann Pillow, seconded by Pam Jackson, that we have a workshop meeting. That sounds wonderful. Thank you, council.
Now we
Any-
just gotta figure out when.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said we could throw some dates around and we can even through email, just kind of get that when you guys are available. All right, call for the vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yeah,
Oh, did you have something else before?
no, I
Oh, okay.
was just gonna suggest that we move as quickly as we can and do a Saturday meeting on the 15th.
I can't do the 15th.
What-
I can't do a 15th, I'm on call, so I may
Okay.
be
What
at
day-
work.
Okay, let's see what date's best for you, Kat.
I mean, I'm good anytime after 5 o'clock during the week. So I get off at 4:30, no later than 5 usually.
This is gonna take a while.
That's kind of why, so we can kind of go back and forth in email until we get everybody's dates.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Jennifer Wiehe.
Yay.
Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Okay.
Al Glick.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
All right, great, thank you, council, appreciate that. Jennifer,
I have nothing at this time.
Nothing at this time for me either.
Kathy? Okay, thanks, Kathy. Miss Ann?
Excuse me. I'd like to schedule a meeting for the 11th. That's Tuesday 11th at 5 for Parks Committee. It will be to discuss our celebration that we plan in June. Is that a good?
Good.
Good.
Pam, on that schedule, we're gonna discuss the 21st, because we don't want it right behind the We Thrive meeting. We don't want it the following week.
Oh, okay, on your,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'll try to remember.
Just as a discussion there.
March 11th, you said?
Yeah, March the 11th for the meeting, and the date for the event, the 21st of June.
Yeah.
And this is for the basketball and pickleball courts?
And that's,
It's
it's
a
for the
general
pick-
grand opening. for the
Oh,
park.
okay.
Mhm.
Is that all you had, Miss?
That's all I have.
Okay. Al?
I have nothing at this time, Mayor.
Pam?
Yes, I do. We did have a finance meeting on Friday, the 29th, at the request from the mayor.
June 21st.
To do with the fire and EMS contract. I did pass out some literature to you guys that we've received at several different meetings that we went to. Start off with the mayor, then they formed a little group, and then we met with other communities because they're trying to raise our fire and EMS to an outrageous price. And of course, from the situation we're in, we keep getting hit when we're down. So the township is requesting an increase that is unreachable for the village. You know, it's like there's no way, and the other communities also, not just us. I guess their levy failed, so we're gonna try to have to, they're trying to get us to fill that gap. And, you know, we're trying everything our best to downsize our budget, to make Addyston solvent, and then we get this. So, we did meet with the other communities, and we just came up with some mock numbers. So, the township was originally requesting, what was that, I can't remember the exact amount. $73,000 per year from the village of Addyston. And through this meeting, talking to the other communities, you know, about soft building, everything else, and the size of our community, the size of other communities. But dealing with Addyston, we kind of come up with a figure to be fair, because we haven't really had an increase in years. I don't even know when the last contract we actually did sign with them. It's been years. And in that, the one I could find in the minutes and stuff, they were supposed to have had they could have had a 5% increase all along, which they never did that to us. So, I mean, in fairness, we probably do owe them more than what we've been paying. We realize that, but it's just bad timing for us. So, what we came up with was just figuring on how many runs and things like that. It's like $50,068. So we're not sure if that's gonna fly, but that's something that we will, if council approves, to kind of try to negotiate that. And then on top of that, since we've had that, Mayor got more information just, when was it, just today, that was put down in front of you. Everything's there, that from the different meetings, and then what's happened with the team that was put together. Now we have another document from the township this time, wanting us to sign this contract. And we did ask for extension, remember, we did that a few meetings ago, for 90 days, so that is up March the 31st. So we have to make a decision here, and I don't know how we're gonna do that with how financially, how we are, trying to cut down everything. As soon as we cut down, then something else comes along and takes the money we're trying to save. So this is a decision that, I know we have one more meeting before the March date deadline. We also have to do our, right now we're on temporary budget, we have to do the permanent budget. So it is,
When is that temporary budget up? It's also at the end of March.
end of March.
Okay. But yeah, the contract that you have in front of you that was today's, so that's actually new. Instead of 1 year, it's a 5-year, which the show increases.
Yeah.
The way it's worked with the township previously and historically is that the township would take the fire levy money that our electors would vote on. And that would generate about 31,000, sometimes higher, it all depends on how tax collection is done. And that money is sent directly to the township. It's not used here in the village, it goes to them. There's a soft billing mechanism in there with Medco that they also bill when they have these costs. I've only seen that one time in the 24 years that I've been in the seat. I've asked for it repeatedly, we don't get it. The last time I asked for it was when all this took place. And the response I got was that they really can't say what our share is because it comes in all together and they just use it for all of the communities in the township.
You have one spreadsheet for
Yeah,
all of it.
one spreadsheet for all of it. Now, I personally would like to know, and as clerk, I'd like to know what that generates. And it was brought up in the one meeting that the mayor, Jennifer, Pam, and I went to with North Bend and Cleves. I asked about could they not raise the service in at Medco? And they said, well, they have a cap. We don't even know what that cap is for Medco. So with this, they're talking about our fire EMS levy money. Like I said, it's 31 something. And then Justin, the administrator in Cleves, put together a program where our share would be 40 something. Well, I think we could do that because we're trying to make cuts, but it's going to be tight. Then they turn around and they throw this 70 something at us. I don't know where we're going to get this. And to be honest with you, even though with the cuts we're making, we're going to have to look to the residents to support a levy for public service. We have a 2.5 mil, as I said, it generates like 31,000, 33,000 a year. So when you think of that, that's on a 2.5 tax. That's going to almost have to double to meet the offset that they're throwing on us. Now, in November when their election went down, they didn't come to us before and say, they knew we had a levy going on. They didn't come to us and say, would you consider putting a new tax on or, increasing your renewal? Ours fell, or ours passed, theirs fell. And I just sit here and I think, it's like they're expecting the communities in the township to make up for their loss. I mean, I know it's a service that we need, but I just don't know where they think that, like with us, facing the $346,000 out of the general fund we're losing, plus with the water and sewer over there, that's another $80,000 that the water department's gonna lose. So when you add that all up and then them throw this on us, this council is trying to save and reduce expenditures. And then we have them throwing something at us. I honestly just do not know what our answer is to have this, you know, to be able to afford the EMS and fire service. I said something about I would go through all the county logs that I have up there and see how many times they were in the village and go back and say, now tell me what Metco paid off of this. I mean, there's gotta be an answer to us on what they're collecting for that service. So, I'm sorry, I just had to say that.
Oh, that's okay.
No, that way everybody knows. That's where we're at,
I mean, this
what
is,
we're dealing with.
I mean, we're gonna, sure, sooner or later, we're gonna have to put something for fire and EMS levy, sure, on a ballot somewhere.
Well, and also one of the things they didn't do for us at those meetings is break down the actual cost.
Yeah.
Because if people don't know, they have TIF to buy their equipment, radios, phones, all that stuff, and it's a large TIF. So,
Yeah.
So I might understand that there'll still be some negotiations? Okay.
oh, we're not done.
Trying, we're trying, we're trying.
Well, and plus too, the other thing that you mentioned at your meeting, remember, was the recommendation to also have Bob look at our
Yes.
contracts.
Yeah.
So they're not getting anything until Bob gets back to look at that.
right. So unfortunately, couldn't be at this meeting, so we'll have to do it.
Oh, that's
The next
right,
meeting.
council.
One
Bob couldn't
of
be
the
at this meeting
things
tonight.
that they had in here is that they would decide who would service our fire, our hydrants and that. That ain't gonna work. There's a lot of stuff in here that
That's a
pertains to
contracts
them,
meeting, by the
not
way.
this village.
Yeah. Yeah, when I read that, we actually read this today, me and Margaret together for the first time. I was like, what? Did you see what they said right there?
That's what I just said.
Well, we in the village have worked real good. In fact, we have a contract with Hamilton County Public Works
Uh-huh.
for our fire hydrants, and we know the cost, because they send it to us annually. And we're sort of in a unique situation because the water board owns the pipes under the ground and the council owns the fire plugs. So-
Yeah. Well, number 16, I'm just gonna read it so everybody else can hear it too, because the village shall pay for repairing and replacing any fire hydrants and shall coordinate with the Greater Cincinnati Water Works or the Village of Cleves Water Works to complete such replacements. Now, look, no, you don't tell us who we're gonna have to replace that stuff.
I mean, like I said, I went through this.
So we
and I-
definitely need to have a contracts meeting and go through the wording.
And they want 5% increase every year on top of it.
So by year 5, we're looking at $88,731.96.
From the 73 they want this year.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't have to suffer because their levy was ill-advised to try to put on a 3% renewal, and on top of that, 3% more. So it was a 6% tax, and that's why the people of Miami Township didn't vote on it, didn't vote affirmatively for it. So we have to suffer. I appreciate the negotiations.
It's not over yet.
So that's where we're at on that. And everything else, yeah, it's just, if we're planning on having this workshop, we need to do that because we have to do our final appropriations. That's a must, because it's the 31st of this month. That's another
So
thing
the
we're dealing
sooner the
with.
better everyone gets a date back would be
Right.
great.
Yeah, so we need to come up with something. So, because we gotta make these cuts, as the ones that we sent the proposals out on things, you know, just so everybody knows, we're talking about, suggesting that while we did vote on it, to, go to part-time personnel. I mean, that's with benefits and things, it's, you know, it saves us a lot, but we're losing a lot. You know, it's a hard situation to do. I never thought that the village would be in this situation, but we don't have any control with the business, and that really set us back. And we gotta live within our means, just like everybody else does with their household. And as far as cutting services, we hope to not do that. I mean, I don't think that we will, as long as we can cut
Can't
back
do
and, or,
House bill.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do, so we can be Addyston, but we're gonna have to have the citizens' help to do that. It's not that we're spending crazy or whatever, you know, you see we've got old equipment, we got a couple new trucks in the last few years, but other than that, you know, we don't try to spend too much and try to do things for the community. I will say we did apply again this year for the special events grant. We may get that.
May not.
Well, I did get a call from them today.
It's straightened out.
Is it? So, hopefully, we'll know something next few days. And then other things like that, we still have to provide for the community, you know, as far as, you know, the garbage, you know, everybody takes their part in doing that, but, you know, we have to have our maintenance people. We've got the police finally taken care of, so we have officers that are patrolling the village, and we have to keep things going in Addyston.
I have a question, if you don't mind. on that.
Sure.
With the EMT and the fire protection services, and you're wanting to raise that percentage amount in the village, I'm not saying annex into the village, just take that completely away. But if you were annexed into the village, would they still be charging that same dollar amount that they're wanting to charge us now?
Do you mean dissolved into Miami
Say
Township?
if we was,
If we dissolve, we would
Would
not
they-
be paying any of that.
so they're paid.
I mean, it'd come out of our taxes.
But that's what I'm saying, if you did annex into them, they would still be charging us the same amount that they're wanting, even if we're not
We
annexed.
honestly don't
We
know.
really don't know that. I mean,
I saw that, did you say that in that meeting when you sat, how did they ratio this? Did they ratio it towards the taxes for each building here?
yeah, we're
Or are
not,
they just gonna throw 72,000 at you? What was discussed in that meeting you had? with
we
them?
didn't sit down with
This
the
is
township.
something new today. We didn't
No,
even know
not that. How
this.
to get the value, you're saying you brought $32,000 in for fire levy based on what we voted for, correct?
Yes,
It's
correct.
like Gary said, if
Correct.
we go township, well, it's gonna go up a little bit more, and maybe it's gonna be 3%.
We don't know.
We don't know.
So maybe, that's what I'm saying, this is stuff you gotta lay out now, because
You're
it's,
right.
72 is a little high,
Yep.
but if they're gonna come in and charge us what we should be charged by our value of our house, it's a fair game then. And that money you're talking about, this, every time they make a squad run, they get money back from some people's insurance companies.
Yes.
If you live in the village, it's free. I don't know, it was with Delhi, when I ran on Delhi, that's how we did. Live in Delhi, didn't pay, if you're out of Delhi, auto accident, we billed you for it. And then some of these places brought that money in to keep the cost.
Well, that's what the
So
Met
township,
code is
when we
for.
go down, if we would go township, we're on top of that TIF money. That's another big thing that you don't have down here. So they buy all
we
the
don't.
equipment, the firehouses, and if they ever build a new firehouse in this area, it'd be done by TIF money.
Yeah.
But that's what you need to find out in the meeting, is how they're coming up with that
Well,
number.
For instance, today, there was a car that caught on fire out here. She's in her office, I'm in my office, and we're hearing all these sirens, and I said, my God, what's on fire in Addyston? You know, it was one siren after another. We both come downstairs, and here there's a car sitting over there, cross the street resident, car's on fire, 2 fire trucks.
You know, rather than keep going back and forth here, we can go to the next person.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
Yes. Get this meeting back on track.
You don't know how they're operating, so we really can't judge that.
Right, right.
So, can I please, I'd like to just go ahead and, can we go to Miami Township Fire? Would you like to? Can we just go there?
Tell Margret why you
Oh,
brought
are
2
you
fire
done?
trucks.
I can.
I'm done. I'm done, I don't have anything.
I thought that's all you had.
That's all I
have. Okay.
I'm good,
I'm
that's
sorry,
okay.
I can go right back to you.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Good evening.
Good evening.
With the car fire, I was on my way here, that's one of the sirens you heard. One fire truck was coming to Station 70 for a training, so they were in the area, they weren't initially dispatched. The fire truck that normally gets dispatched was also on its way, so. And it was called in that it was close to a structure, better have more personnel than not enough. So that's
Agree.
why we had.
Understand.
Thank you.
While we were here for that, we got called to police for an appliance fire, so we were all over. So in Addyston, in the month of February, we did 11 EMS runs, 2 good intent calls, which would be like getting called and returning, like a disregard. And so we did a total of 13 runs in Addyston. Amongst all the villages in Miami Township, we did 188 runs for February. We should be doing inspections starting here
now, this month. Along with, spring fire hydrants checks. I'm sure they'll let everybody know when we start that like we did last year.
Please let us know because our citizens
Yeah.
get pretty wild when they don't know
Yeah,
about
so
that.
we'll let you know.
Thank you.
We only have one person that strictly does Addyston's water hydrants. He just does it himself because of the water situation.
All right.
Couple events that are coming up. Spring Forwards this Sunday, so don't forget to change your batteries. In March 7th, 8th, and 9th, the community center will have a model train show. Anybody's welcome to come. There is a burn ban in the month of March, April, May, October, November, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. April 26th, which is kind of far out, but Drug Take Back Day at the Miami Heights location from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then April 12th, we are hosting a Easter egg hunt for the kids, if anybody would like to come, from 10 a.m. to 11:30. We have our new engine in. It is at Mobilecom getting radios serviced. We began training on it and hopefully be in service here soon. So that's all I have right now.
All right. Does anybody have any questions while you're still
Out of your
standing?
11 runs and squad, how many people had health insurance? Do you know?
Sorry, Lori. I saw you.
You paid them that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Lori?
I just want to know, when you do the fire hydrant test, are you gonna check them all, or just at the end of the street?
They should all be checked.
Because one, I can take you to several.
Well, if they don't work, we definitely report it and we'll
Report
report
it,
it.
it's locked up. you
We
ain't
just
gonna
fixed
get
all
caught.
those.
Yeah, we just
We
fixed
just
them.
fixed them all, we thought.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't,
Yeah,
we
we
haven't
have the
started the check, so I
latest,
don't.
the
When they
last
was
list you
checking
guys
them
gave
through
us,
the
we
building,
did.
They was only checking at the end of the streets.
Oh.
They weren't checking each individual hydrant. The hydrant in front of my house, a cop hit it several years ago. Plastic bag was over top of it for years. They come, they repainted it, like, I have never physically seen that hydrant work.
I'll give them your address,
And I'll check the list
Yeah.
from Hamilton County.
because
they
it might
sent
be
me a
on that
list.
list.
If we have a list of out of service hydrants, so if it's out of service, they do like a quick check, but
Well,
until it's fixed,
I'm just curious, because we've had numerous homes burned to the ground because hydrants didn't work outside.
Well, that's not the problem there, it's, while we're talking about fire. Our water was out about 2 months ago here in this village, and these men were never told. So we had no water from 12 o'clock midnight till the next morning, but 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so they found out they had no water here. They would've rolled in, anything east of First Street, it would've burned to the ground. Just Delhi would've came in the other way, nothing, South Road would've got the city.
Guess we have
But
to make sure.
I asked the water board, I don't know if anybody's the water board,
Yeah.
what is the
That's what we're
protocol
doing now,
when the water's out to call these guys to let them know?
is to call them and let them know.
What they did. Cause I talked to a
Right.
Lou,
And we've talked
I
about
talked to
that.
Delhi, and they weren't notified at all. And they came to my house to thank me for letting me know.
Delhi, we don't notify Delhi.
Delhi comes in first,
they'll have you here.
they'll be on first in my building before they will. They put a fire out in one of my units.
Hmm.
So they're first in, it's all worked out. That's why I say you're gonna need a firehouse in this area someday, 'cause you got all this structure. It takes some time for these guys to get here, especially on the other end. If you're having a heart attack, you're gonna die. It's just a response time, there's nothing you can do about it.
Any other fire questions?
But they do, you're just saying they are supposed to be notified.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, that's good information to have.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to Lieutenant Dan.
Can't wait to hear his and
Lieutenant McElroy with Hampton County Sheriff Patrol. Sent out a report for last month. Last month you had 31 incidents or details that were dispatched, and then 48 self-initiated details. Most of those, if you look, are traffic stops or some kind of investigation and follow-up. We took 4 reports, 2 criminal and 2 non-criminal, and I double-checked it, 0 auto accidents last month. Do we have any questions?
Oh, yeah, I didn't tell council, but he did give me, from the last council meeting when you guys asked about the crash at dining, they did turn out and go left. Because the
Which you're not
accident-
supposed to.
Yeah, you still didn't see him do it.
Yeah, they still do it, I see it every day.
Oh, I
Somebody's
know.
been left out.
Out, turn left, out.
Yeah, every day,
So the police are on that, right?
at night,
Now,
yeah. Every day. There's some-
Anyway,
so
so,
before you want to
what else do I want to ask?
First Street, everybody's still watching First Street.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted to mention. What I wanted to ask council, because I did send you guys out the information for the appraisal of the guns. And I think they want to know what is our pleasure in dealing with that. You remember you did get that.
Right.
You did get a while back.
Right. I'll make the motion that we allow the department to purchase them, right? So what it was, or did you guys want to purchase?
Basically,
Well,
I
I
think
guess
we
the
just said-
question would be whether you would want to purchase or whether you want it basically a trade. You don't pay, it comes off your bill. basically, the
You can have it come off your bill.
Which makes sense, I mean, they're no use to us, I mean, if the department wants those.
Anything else we can wheel and deal on?
Oh.
Anything else you can think off that bill?
Well, we still look at the radios, so maybe.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, basically, what's your pleasure, council, in doing that?
I'll make the motion that we allow to credit us
I'll second it.
for the amount that was quoted.
All right. Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Al Glick. Any discussion? No discussion.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe. Yay. Kathy Byess.
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Al Glick,
Yeah.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
All right. That started. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Can we negotiate a little bit, get a little more out of them?
That's why it has a range master, but I don't.
Al,
That's what he said.
$72,000.
Right. Works good for me.
72,000.
All right, go to our maintenance supervisor. Mike? Did you have anything?
Just kind of glad that we haven't had any inclement weather recently. Hopefully we
Don't
won't
say
get
it.
more snow or ice.
Don't say it.
I heard something about the weekend having a little bit of snow, but I hope
Supposed to
not.
snow Wednesday night.
But, you probably know, we had MSD had a sewer force main break, down at Main and Mistletoe. That's been repaired. The contractor, Queen City Mechanical, is coming in tomorrow. Been working throughout the week to restore the sidewalk and asphalt at MSD's cost, no cost to us.
Get some extra asphalt.
Main today.
I think there's a sewer hole up there, can they fix? Tell them it's a sewer.
We took care of it. And the other streets in town. But that's all I have.
Thank you, Mike. All right, with that being said, I'd like to open the floor. Is there anybody that would like to come up and address council?
I got a few questions.
Oh,
Save the best for last.
Well, no, we're only people might not know. Margaret, when you said we pay $42,000 for insurance, is that a year?
That's a year.
And that's on the buildings,
That's on
The
everything
workers,
that's owned
trucks.
on the village, it's the vehicles, everything.
everything we got?
park
42.
equipment,
Okay.
Everything.
42,000 a
trash
year.
The
cans.
buildings, the water tower, the waters, everything.
Okay. And then we talked the other day, and we're like $14,000 a year for the lights on the streets.
It runs anywhere from
14 to 16.
14 to maybe 16, a little over. That's inside the village, outside the village, it's
Okay.
$241.
Is that, what about the electric for these this building here, is that separate?
Please?
Electric for the building
Yes.
in here?
Yes, we have about 12 Duke accounts.
Okay, so what do we spend in a year on, would you say electric, $5,000-6,000?
For
Besides
the
the
whole-
14?
For the whole village, everything?
Without the 14,000 of the lights, but just the other Duke bills you have?
Probably about
You have
30-something thousand.
So we got 30,000 there, you got, okay.
I'm just saying that's a
I mean,
rough
that's
estimate.
what these budgets, you got, I mean, that all counts.
Oh,
I mean, you
Yes,
start
it
adding
is,
up.
it does.
Yeah, we-
So you
And
got
we are.
100,000 for, your fire, police, maybe 50 to 70,000 for your, and you got the maintenance to do, and you gotta have money for them to fix things.
Yep. Exactly.
The finance committee has been meeting, they are trying to trim back on stuff. so that the
But
expense.
how far are we gonna trim back? I mean, cause we can't put nothing to fix anything, that's what I'm trying to get to the future. I
Well-
mean, we might cut back, but we still gotta get these streets fixed. Are we gonna be able to save money for the
Are
grants?
you talking about the street out by your house that the trucks
Oh.
are coming down and going
Well, I
out
don't
there?
care
and
what's
running?
coming down on the street
It
shot.
still needs fixed.
I mean, that ain't my
I
fault.
know it needs fixed, but
It
there could be
hasn't
a
been
way
done
to
since
stop it.
'97, this one's been twice out here. Danny, you were mayor when you got that street blacktop for the buses, right? You weren't mayor then?
No, sir.
Oh, who was mayor then?
I have no idea. It's been a long time.
That blacktop.
I didn't even have no
Yeah, you're
interest
talking
in
about the
council.
last
Metro, the last time they used
May not
to.
have been born. Metro did, yeah.
Yeah, but who worked all that out? I mean, that was a nice deal.
that was sorta reached out to us, and there was a grant. They were doing it all over Cincinnati.
There's no problem with that, it's great, it
Or
saved us
he's
money.
talking about something from a while back.
And if you're talking about East
other
Main
one, all the
Street,
way down.
that's
Just a new one.
probably gonna go back 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I remember they stopped right at the line there, you know. But I mean, just some of these bills we're gonna have coming in. What's the park cost us to operate? Is that under maintenance?
Doesn't cost us hardly anything, just maintenance,
Maintenance.
cutting the grass.
Well, what do we got set aside for
Electricity.
like maintenance on that future, the blacktop of the parking lot and stuff like
Oh
that?
my Lord, I hope we don't have to do anything over there for 20 years. 10, 20
Well, you do
years.
have to save for it.
I can't,
I'm just
I can't go out that far, I'm sorry.
Well, that's why
I
we're in the
can't
shape
go
we
out
are,
that
because
far.
we didn't, you know, and then, a lot of our problem is we don't have no money.
That's one reason why we voted to have a workshop meeting, so we can really hammer.
And the
a lot of
other
things
question I
out.
got, Margaret, when you say you take out of the sewer fund and the water fund, is that for payroll?
Do what?
When you take money out of the sewer fund and the water fund?
It's for if there's services like, say, like on cell phones, if there's some assigned to that group, the money's pulled out of it from that. If it's salaries, some of it is salaries, it's various things. If
So
there's
does MSD charge us, or when we pay our water bill, do you have to pay them some money?
Everything we collect for MSD goes to MSD.
Okay, does that come out of the sewer fund when you say
It
that?
comes out of the sewer fund.
Okay, so there's no payroll comes out of the sewer
Yes,
fund?
there
so-
is. We have one employee who collects the money that we legally can pay her salary out of.
Out of the sewer.
Because we get a percentage,
We
because.
get a
I-
se-
I-
we
I'm
get
just trying to find out.
7%
You know,
of
I didn't
what
know
we
if you were
collect.
broke
Is it-
and had to borrow money from those accounts to pay
No,
payroll.
we
That's all.
can't do that. The auditors will get us.
And then the $32,000 that we're owed by tickets, I guess you're saying, back tickets?
Mm-hmm.
How many, is that like last year or just,
Oh, no, that's over a decade, maybe.
15.
15
so
years.
nobody, they weren't arrested for not paying their ticket or warrant
Oh,
for it?
they get arrested.
They just get
And
recited.
then not show up for court and get recited.
And
Is
then
it
they
get
our
get
people
arrested.
in our village or is it people from all over the state of Ohio?
Throughout.
It's a
They're not
vicious
all.
circle. If you get locked up and go to jail, the village pays for that too. Isn't that funny? They do the crime and we have to pay.
Most of the tickets are recitable though. If you have a speeding ticket, you don't pay it, they can recite you. They're not
I'm
gonna
just
take you,
curious.
they're
I
not
didn't know
gonna
if it
take
was
you
just like
downtown.
Last year since you quit mayor's court, if people just didn't pay it. That's
Well, I know
all.
the one thing the state does, they do put a block on your license now, if they don't pay their tickets.
So you got a list of all the people that are?
Yes, we know who they are, and
Okay.
Aaron, the secretary,
Oh,
will
that's-
be working with the agency. And as far as the block on citations, that's a legal question for Bob Kelly, our lawyer. So we'd have to see from him if we can do that.
And, do you know how much debt we're in that we owe on loans besides our finance, what we got coming in? Do we still owe money on any?
Yes, we still owe money. We owe money on the white truck that's out there. We owe money on it, about $50,000.
OPWC.
We have 4 Ohio Public Work grants that were utilized like in 2019 that will be paid off in the year. One will be paid off in 2039. The other one will be paid off in 2040. And then we have 2 other,
I mean,
There's
what kind of
another
money are
one.
we talking?
please?
What kind of money are we talking?
We're talking about twice a year we make a payment on each of those loans. And it's about $10,000 for the 4 loans that we make
So
payments on.
we're responsible for that debt yet.
Yes.
So if we go
Yes.
to the township that debt's gotta be paid?
Well, I don't know,
We don't
that's
know that
something we have to find out from them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on
Okay, so
that.
we're in
They
debt,
haven't
we're in
guaranteed
debt too
anything
besides
yet.
bringing
Well,
money in.
you know, like, years ago, before probably you weren't even in this community, that was the way they did things. If they needed to blacktop a road and make it better, they reached out and did an Ohio Public Works Commission grant,
Yeah.
which would be either like a 2%, a 3%, or no percent, and they
Well,
would.
that's not a problem, I'm
but
saying it's
no, what
bad,
I'm
I just wanna
saying
know
is-
what we got.
Well, as I said, I don't have them in the top of my head, the total value of it, but we do have at least 4 that I can say, because the water board this month finished paying off their second one, so.
And then
We're
July
done
they're
with that.
paying off one.
No, that's the one that, it is July, I'm sorry. They paid one off in January, and then the second would be paid off in July. So the water board will be done with any
So
of
is
this.
the water separate from your accounts?
The water, we have like separate accounts, we have not separate accounts, we have the general fund, we have street construction, maintenance, repair, we have state highway, we have permissive auto, which is the license plate money, then we have the fire EMS money, we have, like special funds, like for the festival that we had last year through Hamilton County. They're all in different, like, coded accounts, but they're all under village council because they're responsible for the total budget. The water board doesn't have a separate bank account. Everything flows through here.
I just hope you guys all get together this meeting and put all this out. So we don't keep, you know, I know somebody find out in August we're broke, state comes in, takes over. I mean, that's why I don't want it to happen. So we
Well-
can, you know, and I talked to the mayor about this.
I agree
mean,
with you.
It's just, you know, she's got a lot on her plate, it's just not all hers to do. I mean, it's up to all of us, or I mean, I'm glad to come down and sit with you, go over these numbers. But we gotta know, you know, if we're gonna put this on the ballot and go to the township and work our fire out, or are we gonna pay more for fire, or cheaper to stay with, you know, when we go to township, it's all included, because we'll be entitled to that TIF money. To, you know, build other things in this, you know, the community.
You know, it's why
Right.
we're all getting together here and
I mean,
Gotta
every one of you, you're all responsible.
talk about it, but that's why we're cutting back.
I mean,
We
just
cut
what-
back a little here and a little there so we can see what we got.
We got a lot of cut.
Put it
I mean,
all in one,
I don't know where we
one
can
lump
cut,
sum,
that's
figure
what I'm
out where
trying to
we're
think.
at.
I mean, we got things to get fixed, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, you can cut back those phones, $900, that ain't crap.
Well,
Think about it, if you got a disaster here in this community, you officials really need a cell phone.
Oh, yeah, I would keep my same number even if I pay for
I
it
mean, this,
myself.
Mike would have
Mike
a
would
number.
definitely needs a
Oh, yeah.
number. It's- I
yeah,
mean,
he has a cell phone, the mayor has a cell phone, I have a cell phone.
Critical
The
people
ones
would,
that
yeah.
need it, Tony, maintenance, they have it. Ones who really are in here, say, during the day and they leave,
They don't need it.
they don't need it.
Fine.
Because they're not elected, they don't make you know, like, decisions.
What do you think the board cost us a year? 30,000 for every one of yous, and the mayor, the lawyer?
I don't know off the top of my head. If I wouldn't have known you was asking all these, I would have put something together for you. I know I've told you this before, but
I'm
You
just
know
trying to put- I'm trying to put numbers in my head so I know, I'm buying this company here, and I want how much debt we got.
Before the next meeting, drop me off a whole big bunch of questions.
Okay.
And then I'll come back and say, I got you, I got you, Ed.
you know, you might think that the recommendations that we've mentioned here tonight is little, but what I put together for council was like $159,000 in savings if they would do certain things, and that's just for a year. I mean, that will help, that's gonna help us towards the loss of the $346,000 that we're not getting from Rita.
I mean, cutting back, putting some employees on part-time, that saves us $100,000
Blacktop
a year.
that street, you'll never see me
You know
again.
what I mean? So,
Right.
that's some of the savings we're trying to work out.
Yeah, right. That's it, yeah.
Thank you, Ed.
You're welcome.
Oh,
But if you,
so for the people around this
are the people allowed
table,
to join your workshop?
well, the workshop is for council now, it will be public, but
Okay,
I'm
all right.
throwing everybody against the wall, and it's like, look, leave us alone.
That's fine.
We need to do our
That's fine.
business.
You can come, you can hear, but you can't interact.
Okay. I got a hard time.
However, that question you had, what do we cost around this table per year? It's $84,600,
Just for you guys up here?
just for us. Yeah,
That's a lot
need to
bigger.
turn that mirror
Once you
inward,
guys do
don't
the
we?
Trump thing where everybody does it free.
So,
That's $84,000.
Yes.
We could
Anybody else that's got anything?
Does anybody else have anything?
something quick.
I might have to put it in.
Talking
All
about,
right, let's give Gary the floor, please, thank you.
we're talking about monies. Now, the money has already been appropriated for First Street repair, correct? Nothing's changed
That's
on
with
that?
Hamilton County. They're taking care of that.
Yeah, so that is
Did
happening.
they give you the dollar amounts? You
We
said-
haven't got it yet.
You got them right here. You got better contacts, I guess, but anyhow. The
Dollar
original
amounts for
estimated
what?
cost was $224,441. Original municipal road fund was $157,087. The original local match was supposed to be $67,324.
That's what it was supposed to be, yeah.
That was that. The revised cost now is $230,000. And then to go with the, the municipal road fund is $72,913. Village pays nothing. Is that still a go project? I don't wanna.
Yes, okay, so I know what you're talking about
Yes.
now.
I don't
So
want to go all of a
basically,
sudden, they're out
um,
there looking at the street and,
No, what I did was, is I got with Denise Treehouse and some other commissioners, and I also got with Hamilton County engineers. And then after writing, I had to write, like I was writing for a grant, like Save Us Please. And Fred Schlemm got back to me a few weeks ago, I think it was, wasn't it? And he said, well, good news, Mayor, we are going to fund the entirety, includes that $70-something thousand.
and that
So we're
takes-
good.
But that takes care of from
All of it.
corporation line down to
Down
where
to
they
that
start
road.
blacktopping that?
Right, that's what we voted on in that meeting.
Okay.
So when is that supposed to start?
Our bid date
Is this Wednesday, or
Yes.
Thursday? The 6th is
So our
when we
bid
will be
opening is
opening the
this-
bids.
Yes.
Yeah, and the only reason I was asking, because the local match said 0, and I knew if, all right, if you said to come up with a local match, was that gonna kill the project?
The local match was that 70-something that I
Right.
went and asked them to pay for.
All right, but again,
We're
now that
good.
it's 0,
We're not paying anything.
we're still go. I don't wanna,
Yeah.
We're still
We're
not
still
okay with
good.
that, I don't wanna go.
All the
because they couldn't
documents
come up with the
all the
money.
documents I have in my office have already been
Okay.
signed and everything. It's a sealed job. It's
Perfect.
done. Only thing we're waiting on is for the 6th at 2 p.m. here in this office. The bids will be open publicly. And then usually the engineer, we take and we write down what they got, and the engineers
He's
who
here
are
too.
the experts at this stuff will look at them and see which is the best bid. It's
Yeah.
not always the lowest bid, it's the best bid. And then
The
he
bang for
will
the
take
buck.
them back, make a recommendation to the council to make to Hamilton County to let the bid go.
So we're moving this year.
How's everything going over here? They've met with you at all to give you good news, bad news, any news?
The last news I got was from when I met with a group from EPA. So
Yeah.
they're over there doing their testings in various areas, testing with water, and they're still meeting on decommissioning, desanitizing in place, but they have to follow a specific set of rules.
Oh, no.
And
Do
I've
they-
also dropped that in Kathy's lap here, so Kathy's gonna be getting updates on that, right Kathy? Yep.
Who's the street commissioner, or who's the, street mayor? That's all I got.
Andy, you're the street commissioner?
Well, Chairman.
No, he's chairman of the street committee.
Chairman of the street
Do we
committee.
have
Sure.
somebody?
Is that for street, is that for
road
street
closed
commissioner? or-
themselves? Put 'em down over the
Hopefully
weekend?
they'll be coming down here like really soon because we got what we
Well,
wanted.
they've been down and up
I just
and down
wondered
and
because
up.
they were set back up this morning from somebody. taking
Yeah,
them down.
he set those back
Curious.
up.
We check these daily, then on Monday.
I mean, if
weekend,
council,
we put 'em
since
back
we're
up.
getting that road fixed, if you
I was
wanna
curious,
allow
'cause
people
I'm
to
like,
run through,
done the road closed, it's
that's
not
something we have
closed
to talk
out.
about.
It's not closed.
They got a boat down.
I mean, it's not closed at all, but it says closed. I was just curious.
Well, I was trying to get them to fix the road up there and it worked.
But the only thing I do now is the bus department, they've been.
Yeah, I
the-
was gonna
the
say,
bur-
it's hard
buses-
on the bus, man.
That's what I was gonna bring up. The school doesn't know that road's is open
And the kids have been walking down the street ever since the 1st of January.
We discussed that with the school, actually,
I
very
called it
explicitly.
Transportation twice. The first time they told me, we can't do anything because Hamilton County and the mayor of Addyston said the road is closed. So 2 weeks later, a bunch of us on First Street called
Who
again.
did you speak with?
And they said the transportation tail.
Like anybody specific?
And then the second time I called, he said, I said, the road's still
Probably
closed
Justin.
and the kids are still
Justin.
walking down
But
the
he's
street.
not there anymore. He's-
Oh.
And he said he
Tim's
hasn't heard that it's
probably-
open.
Tim's your,
Yeah, because we talked to them more than once, and I wanted to make sure that they knew that they did not have to change their routes. We
He
didn't wanna
said they haven't
disrupt
heard.
them. And I talked to him, he talked to him,
Talk to them.
so that's why I'm asking who you spoke with, so we can get that straightened
It's
out.
whoever answered the phone at the transportation.
it's
Like,
probably,
okay,
you probably
anybody.
wanna talk to Kim now, cause like I said, Justin has,
Yes,
Cause I
I'm
didn't
in a
wanna
different
disrupt them,
position.
so.
he's gone, so.
Yeah,
I mean,
but they
We do wanna
keep
put them
telling us
down.
that they haven't been notified that it's open.
No, just leave it,
They were
but,
told that the buses weren't allowed to come through there is what they
Right.
said. That's what they,
That's what they
that's why the
said.
buses didn't come through
Give
there.
him Kim's number, and call Kim directly.
alright,
We'll reach
we
out to
will
Kim.
reach back
I
out
mean,
with
they have to
them.
redo all the routes again, so say they can go there, it might not
Yeah,
happen.
that apparently wasn't communicated very
Yeah,
well.
miscommunication.
I come through, I'll have to be honest, on my midday, I come through. That's how I was told to come on through, so I came.
everybody comes through anyway.
That's why I said.
This is
there's-
the most
there's
open
no-
closed road
We
I've
will,
ever
Right.
yeah, we'll get back out with it. Did anybody else have
The
anything?
sign, the sign, well,
Yeah, one of the things I was gonna bring up was the bus thing, because the kids in January, when it snowed and ice, had to walk up and down the middle of the street with cars. So, that's what I was gonna bring up, that's been closed since the 1st of January, and it's not closed. There's more traffic on it now, I think, because I've gotten phone calls and texts from people saying, is the street open? I go, yeah, heck yeah, come down it, because somebody lives on Fiddler Green's been going all the way around to get down here. And I said, it's open, everybody's using it.
I go all the way
Technically, it's
around.
not
I
official.
don't, I don't use it.
Well, I mean, everybody, I mean, there's a lot of cars on it.
I'm in
the
Western
same
Hills, I go all the way around.
What I was gonna ask is, I don't know if you guys still do this or not, but is our code enforcer and our building inspector doing anything?
I mean, yes.
Supposed to be. Because if you go around
Do
looking.
you have something to report to him?
There's a lot of things that they drive around town and just look. I mean, does the village charge the landlords for not fixing up something? And get called, cause when.
Well, we're in a strange place right now since we went to Hamilton County. We don't have mayor's court. We don't pull them in here, so we need to look at how we're going to address a lot of these issues.
Because
that we
I know when my mom and dad's house, they sent me one, this is years ago, that there was about 10 shingles loose on the front porch and a bad board. And if I didn't get it fixed, I was gonna be fined to court, which would have been mayor's
Which
court
we don't
back
have
then.
mayor's court.
So, if you can come up with something, you could get a lot of money from finding things around here, I know.
So I know that,
That's something we
Ed
have to get
has-
with Bob on.
has fined my neighbors multiple times, but they don't come to court, they don't pay their fines. I mean, that's why we're going after people who owe the fines now.
Yeah, because
I
on the
mean-
committee that I'm on with Pam, this has been going on over a year, and I thought, and Butch is on the committee with me, that for every month that thing sits there, it should be fined. And I'm just wondering if it is, because that's
I've been going through it
extra
for
money
3 years
coming in.
now.
I know, that's what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I know you have.
Well, I know they've gotta fine them every day, they can't just fine them
Yeah,
once a week.
they have to fine them every
They
day.
gotta fine them
But
every
this,
day.
I know this thing,
Keep building up.
some of these things that's going on that should be fine, I mean, that would be extra money coming in too, because there's a lot of violations in town.
They're not paying them, that's just it,
I
that's
know.
the problem.
I know, I mean, you can just drive around and, I mean, I was gonna be fined for shingles on a board being bad on my mom and dad's porch.
And honestly, that's something we really need to get with our solicitor on. I really wouldn't advise
I mean,
anybody to do
that'd
anything
be
legal on
some
that.
extra income, cause you know, if you go to the city, they're gonna find these people.
We're not going to
We're
the
not
city.
going to
Well,
the
I
city,
know
let's
that,
just
but
get
I
that
mean-
point blank, we are not
Yeah.
annexing to the
Well, I know
city.
that, but I'm just
That is-
throwing it out there that
So
they
it's hard
would
to hear
find
about
the
the city.
people.
That is all over
We never
Facebook, that
said
we're
we
going
went
to
to
the
city.
city, that we're down here discussing going to the city. That has not crossed anybody's mind, we're not
Oh, I
going. We
know.
took care of that at the last meeting.
But we need to start finding these people, landlords, cause
That's
it's
just the
mostly
landlords.
landlords. Huh?
Some of the residents too.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. We don't have that many homeowners anymore. It's mostly around us.
We do have a lot of,
Yeah.
Spend all that money out there, millions of dollars.
all right. Linda, did you have anything else?
No, that's what I was gonna bring up, and then about the bus on First Street, because kids
Okay.
are still walking down the
Oh, we'll
street.
get with him.
And, I mean, honest to goodness, there was other people on First Street that called the buses, because they called, when I told the kids, I said, have your parents call. They did. I said, have your parents call and say, why are we walking down the street? And that in January, when it was, the streets were covered, the sidewalks was covered, it was what, 5 above 0, kids walking down the street, and the street's not even closed.
So, quick question. So when, you did talk to them, they said, well, the mayor said, right?
Yes.
Did you call me?
It was mentioned
Did
to
you
Mayor.
call me?
He said he was gonna take care of it.
You are in my list, I believe, right?
List
You're on
of
my
what?
phone, right? We can call each other,
I don't know.
we can have conversations and things.
Email
I don't have you, I
You
don't
can
have you
email
on
me?
my phone. I don't think. You might have me, I don't have you.
The email part does work, but it'll go into junk mail when you get it back, 'cause I emailed every one of yous.
Did yours go into junk mail?
Now, when it came back, some of y'all didn't email back. But when it comes back, I said, I wonder if it went to the junk mail. So I went over to the junk mail file, and it receives it as initially as junk mail. Then you just have to click at,
Not
this is
junk.
not junk mail, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's
I
tied
have
together,
some of them that
just
come
like
through
that.
Yeah, 'cause I got yours.
Yeah,
I replied to yours.
but when it came back though,
Did you have anything
Oh,
else,
you.
Linda?
when it came back to me, it went into,
Into
that's
what
why I'm
the
looking, I'm like,
spam?
I'm not getting anything.
In the
But
spam
it was-
folder.
But it was considered, yeah, it came in the
Spam.
junk folder, I just clicked it, and after that, it was fine.
Did anybody else have anything else that they wanted to address tonight?
If not, I move to adjourn.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, I wanna make sure everybody knows something, say.
As far as,
Let's get it out here.
the roads and stuff, Secondhand is a lot worse than Main Street.
All that.
I walk Main Street every other day, I have no problem with that, I walk it every morning.
Ride the bus tomorrow, going
I
down.
walk it every morning,
Ride the bus.
at 3 in the
All
morning.
right, let's get this back in order.
Secondhand's a lot
If
worse
you
than
two
that.
wanna
Probably is.
discuss it, you can discuss it after the meeting
But
on
what I was
outside.
wondering too is,
Okay,
is there any way that, maybe that, instead of reading meters on apartments, where we can charge each apartment the same amount of water we do houses?
That's what we discussed.
aren't you on water board?
Yes, but,
Okay,
I mean, anything we bring up is gonna have to come to council anyway, so I was just kinda wondering.
Sounds like
I
a
mean,
great
that's,
idea.
that's also a question that you would have to ask the solicitor, I believe, as well, because of the way that's set up. But yeah, that would be discussed
Separate
with
meter
them.
on apartment buildings.
Instead of, like, there are 6 apartments that say they got a main meter, they're paying $150, but if you paid $80
Right there.
each apartment.
Ray, there was a different formula at one time when Jane collected it,
Uh-huh,
and I'm pretty sure it might still be in the FAL, that, because there was, and it was even set up where the the person that rented the facilities would call down here if a building was empty, because they did. There was things in place. I don't know what happened after that, but there was things in place.
yeah, I was just kinda curious about that, so like I said, instead of just paying a flat fee, then, each apartment would pay like the $80 a month, so if somebody had, 6 apartment buildings.
Well, I know.
It's a lot
Well, you
more
figure
money.
there's 7
Depends on
buildings
how
out
it goes
there,
in there,
and there's
too.
12 in each building.
Right.
Multiply that times what the rate is,
I
and that's
I
what you
pay
should be bringing
stuff
in.
for each unit, so like he said, I pay $80 a month for each unit. But if a person is not using that much water, it's not fair to screw them out of there. I mean, they may be using more, I don't know,
Right.
but I don't
Yeah,
think.
it's just, it's just like, you got,
I mean, that's how I set ours up, that we pay
Yeah.
each unit.
No.
You got
It's a
apartments
house.
down here and
I
then,
don't know how you,
yeah,
the other
there's
one.
other apartments.
I
But
bet
that's
you-
definitely something to discuss with your
Yeah,
water board
right.
and see what the
I'll,
avenues
see,
are.
I'll talk to
Yeah, 'cause-
Dan about it.
Because we're not gonna resolve that at this meeting.
No, and maybe Margaret, you can, look something
Yeah.
up to have, for us.
I've got a two-family, I paid two, one for downstairs and one
Yep,
for up
and that's
there.
the way
Right.
it's set
That
up.
should be, yeah,
So that's what I was just kinda curious about.
yeah.
I'll get back to you on it, Rick.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Dan.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Motion to adjourn by Dan Phillips, second by Kathy Byess. Any discussion? Somebody want to stick around? No, I'm just kidding.
Dan Phillips,
Yay.
Jennifer Wiehe, Kathy Byess,
Yay.
Ann Phillips, Al Glick,
Yay.
Ann Jackson. Shut me off.
Look, I'm second to quit too.